Hi everyone, welcome back to my sacred space. I have a few sacred spaces. This is one of them on my balcony, and that sacred space has been calling me for a while. Karen, what's happening? No more practices. So of course there was a lot of practices this summer live in different gardens, which was fantastic. Really a revelation for me to be able to teach outdoors. Weather was perfect. There was this sensation of being so connected to nature. So now that we're getting in September, I'm like, you know what, Karen, just do it. Start maybe once a week. We should have like at least 15, 20 minutes practice together, and I would love to share that. I am on a big ball, which is not hard to find, by the way. Winners, Walmart. And this practice is mainly for pregnant ladies, but totally good for anyone. Because for me, yoga is a big, wide, chemin, path of healing, and there's nothing that's for no one. But you do find your teachers, you do find the practice that is good for you. But I do invite you to come and practice with me, pregnant or not pregnant. Why prenatal yoga? Because I am surrounded with a few pregnant ladies, and I thought, why not? Why not do some practices for you to be able to see it? Alors, on commence, we start. On this nice ball, I'm looking at myself and I'm like, it should have been a little bit more pumped, but it's okay. Usually when you sit on your ball, you want to have your knees at the height of your hips. If you see my feet, they're a little bit more than hip width apart, because I want to feel grounded. I want to feel that my knees are supported by my feet, and I want to feel that my hips are nicely supported by the ball. So we're going to take a few moments here to fully arrive in our practice. And naturally the ball is moving, and I'm going to let it move. And I'm going to start thinking and coming back to my breath. And one of the breaths that I use constantly is my Ujjayi breath, which is that breath from deep down into your throat. So I'll do a few breaths with you. We're going to start with the mouth open, and then we're going to close our mouth, maybe 3 times of each. But then throughout the practice, you can continue with that breath, because it really penetrates within yourself. And if you have your baby, it's amazing because you feel your breath, which the breath is really the bridge between yourself and your baby, not pregnant, between yourself and your inner self. So let's do a few breaths. We inhale from our nose and we let the sound coming out. So inhale. Inhale. One more time. Next, the same ha sound in the back of my throat, but with my mouth closed. Inhale. Remember Darth Vader? Beautiful. Last breath, inhale, arms up to the sky, lengthening your whole upper body, and then exhale, release to your heart. One more time, inspire. And exhale to your heart. I'm going to ask you to open your hands, keep them at the level of your heart, and maybe create an intention here. Could be an intention, something that you need now. It could be an intention for the day, for the night. An intention on a specific subject, something that you want to work on, or support that you want to create. You can repeat a few times that intention and bring it to your heart. And bring it onto your hands. And you're going to close your hands and keep your hands very close to your heart Fingers wide open like ray of light. And then from here, inspire up. And exhale down. Beautiful. So the first thing that we really do on the ball is circles. Beautiful circles. Starting to get connected with your pelvic floor and with your hips. Your hips, it's a place full of energy. Bouillonnement en anglais. And you want to try to release. And you want to try to connect to that melting. But at the same time, you want to be aware that your whole pelvis is like a ball. And into that bowl, you want to bring a good energy. You want to bring some light, some lightness. We're going to go to the other side. And I encourage you to have your hands like me in front of you to kind of give a message to your pelvis. Here between my hands, I feel energy. I feel love. I feel my breath. I feel a good support. And then all this can be connected to your pelvis. Your pelvis, I wanted to say pelvic floor, but pelvis. Now, come back to something stable. Think about your feet pressed down, and you can lift up your toes here and spread them. So my feet are plugged in into the earth. My sitting bones are plugged in into the ball. My hands are still here carrying this amazing energy that I created. And simply bring your hands towards your hanch, towards your pelvis, and kind of carry the energy right there. And if you want, you can bring your hands onto your hips and hold those hips tight, strong. And the whole energy that was into your hands, the warmth, let it penetrate into your hips. And then slowly inhale, reaching up, and exhale, hands to your heart. So I'm not going to do a flow, just a few poses for you to, visit me a few times and see if you can practice 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. So the ball is here. I love the ball. And you're going to reach up towards the sky and create that space. So my feet are hip width apart. Again, I'm plugged in into the earth, tailbone reaching down. And pregnant women, we tend to, creuser le bas du dos. So you want to really bring your hips under your shoulders. From here, lengthen a little bit more. And we're going to open towards the side. I'm going to push into the left and go towards the right. And then inhale up. And then exhale to the other side. And then up. Let's inhale here and exhale everything down. We're going to do a few times, trying to connect to my breath and to the movement of my body. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling down. Inhaling, pushing up. Exhaling down, and I can add here. So I'm going to turn like this, you can see from the side. Bending, release here, push into the earth and up to the sky. Exhale, very gently bending my knees and release. And then push and up. And coming down again. I'm going to push my blocks here. Coming down, and I'm going to add here. Roll the ball towards the front. I'm doing a kind of half downward dog with my knees bent. Roll the back, round it back. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale again, down. Roll it and stretch your whole upper body. Your knees are always bent. Now you can choose to stay here if it feels good. And sometimes it feels good to move your hips from one side to the other. And neutral, coming back, push into the earth, inspire. One last time, down, down, and roll and press your hands strongly into the ball. And then coming back with a rounded back and up to the sky. Breathe here. I'm going to stay here, Tadasana. You know, when you're pregnant, there's a few directions that you want to take. One of them is to connect to your baby. One of them is to know how to let go of your fears. One of them is to be very stable and grounded to the earth. Another one to be strong and having determination and a focus. So whatever your aim is, you can practice it through your yoga. Another pose that I love to do is a nice supported squat. So you're going to open your feet wide. And if it's too hard for you to have no block, you can have 1 or 2 blocks under your sitting bones. And then from here, stay here. And allow your inner thighs and your hips to release and to melt down. So for sure, when we're pregnant, we are more flexible. We need to be more flexible. So you don't want to go too deep, but just enough for you to feel that there's a release. I'm trying to maintain my spine long. I'm trying to maintain my stability and my foundation. And breathe into that space. Again, you can stay here as long as you want. You can even bring the ball closer. I don't have the belly anymore, but if you have your belly will just touch the ball. Whatever gives us that sensation of being supported and loved. So the ball is here, and just giving a hug to the ball, you can feel that energy. And now, you're gonna push. That's a hard one when you're pregnant. Push and lift yourself up, 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 up. Inhale, I'm putting my feet back towards the front, and exhale. Another pose that is important to do when you are pregnant. There's so many poses, but I'm just going to show you a few. Goddess pose. And here you choose where to go. But again, my stability, my neutral hips, very important. Shoulders up and back, inspire, arms up. And you're going to bring your elbows and your shoulders at the same length. Now we're going to incorporate a new breath. It's a breath, when you exhale, you're going to do the sound. And that sound is going to kind of help you stay into the pose longer. So we'll do it 3 times together. Inhale. So this is my length for now. You can go longer. Shorter, you go shorter. One more time. Inspire, inhale. And when I'm doing this, go ahead, do the 3rd time alone. When I'm doing this, my sound is kind of releasing all the tensions that I feel. And from here, you finish your 3rd time, I'm pushing and lifting up from the bottom. Hands onto your hips, and we bring our feet towards the front. We're going to do heels and toes and heels and toes. Okay? Another pose that I love to do. You have a wall. For sure you have a wall somewhere. I have downstairs a bar, which is amazing. Or you have a table. Okay? So whatever is good for you. And I didn't put music. The truth is, music would be amazing here, because you want to start giving a rhythm to your hips. So here I'm stretching my whole upper body, my knees are bent, I feel good, and eventually, again, lightness into our hips. So moving our hips from one side to the other. I'm being very gentle, but I'm very grounded. So if you put music, then slowly you can start bending your knees and maybe doing some nice circles in one direction. And feel the space that you're creating into your whole upper body. And at the same time, the weight of your baby is towards the earth instead of being in your pelvic floor. So a nice break here. And then we lengthen. My knees are still bent. If you want, you can come here and do another squat, but this time I'm gonna keep that connection. Usually this is a pose that you should do every day. I tell my students to come and grab both handles of the door and just release. So the weight of your hips are pressing down towards the earth. You're awakening your whole spine. Again, if there's one pose that you want to choose to do this one. Again, I'm staying here just for a few breaths. You can stay here for a good 2-3 minutes, even more. And press it down, press it up, push into the earth and coming up. Rolling your shoulders up and back, inspire. And exhale. I'm gonna add one more pose for today. 3 pose because we need to have that focus, like I said, and this balance. So we're gonna press down. Now, the only thing, you can put your foot anywhere except on the inner knee. So wherever you want, except against your knee. You are a tree. Baby or no baby, there's an amazing energy flowing into you. So let it flow. It can flow when you're stable. It can flow when you're focusing on one point in front of you. So je suis pas éparpillée, I'm not everywhere. I'm really bringing everything in towards me. My arms can come up. Again, if you choose to stay, you're welcome to do it. Hands to your heart, and then slowly down. Push into the earth, and let's do the other side. So when I push into my inner thigh, my leg pushes into my foot. So think about your midline, and you're kind of connecting towards the center. Again, up. That's a pose too. What can I tell you? Every pose is a pose to practice every day. But if you remember 1 or 2 or 3, that's not something that you have to be so warmed up to do. You do it. By the way, you can do it with your baby eventually. You can do it doing the dishes. And slowly down. Inspire to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. And I'm going to roll the ball next to you. And come and sit. So it's always fun to be on the ball because, you can bounce and you feel like a kid. So make yourself comfortable into your ball again. And then we take a moment here. And again, we connect to something more neutral and stable. Think about the sitting bones reaching down through the ball, and through the earth. I told my student it's a good thing to be able to visualize a pelvis and bassin. And visualize that you can create so much beautiful energy and positive energy. Because with the weight of the baby, your mind might go just to the heaviness and a lot of strain and a lot of weight and no space. It's true, you're right, but I'm going to try to focus my mind on what is opposite to that. Lightness and space and steadiness. Most importantly, a beautiful passage of life. So you can bring your hand on your belly, your fingers wide open. When you inhale, you create space in your belly. Exhale, press your hands gently and bring that navel in. A few times, and you might feel that when you're inhaling, you're creating more space to the baby, front and back, up and down. And when you exhale, you're kind of hugging the baby. So everything kind of presses to the side, to the front and back, and to the bottom and the top. One more time. And then you're going to keep one hand on your belly and the other hand on your heart. Deep connection here through touch, through love, life, and love, and connection. This is a privileged moment that you have. It is not a moment that repeats itself so often. Even if you choose to have 10 kids, so then you'll have 10 privileged moments into your life. And those moments are here to make you realize that you have the gift to give life. You have a gift to be a partner with God, with Hashem, and a partner with your baby. Yes, the husband is important, but right now, into this space, you are the one that is going to give birth. You are the one that's going to need that support. So take that support as much as you can. There is no end to the power of God, and this power will be within you when you give birth. This power is already within you. That's why so many emotions and tiredness. You have two souls in your body right now. So again, instead of going into the direction of it's hard, yes, it is hard. But as much as you can, bring the energy to it is beautiful. J'ai de la chance. I am lucky to experience that light. From here, a last, I would say, wink to the baby. A last little message of I love you, my little baby. I'm going to go back to my intention of the beginning. And inspire up to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart. I'm going to stop here, 22 minutes. I will see you, I don't know when, maybe next week, for another practice. Namaste.